6 a.m. day after Christmas. I throw some clothes on in the...
Well, as you can see, it's a beautiful morning. It's 7:30 in the morning. So what am I doing up at this time? No, I'm not on my way home from the pub, and I'm not up at this time for a game of golf. I'm here for some exercise, or rather some wastercise. Now, that's a phrase that was coined by Jerry Rasmus, a man who's affectionately known as the Keeper of the Ocean. Viewers of PMTV will be familiar with Jerry. He starred in Andrew Watson's show Beyond the Beach a little earlier in the year, so we thought it's time to catch up with him and see how he's doing in his one-man effort to try and clean up the county, clean up the beaches, and do his little bit to clean up the planet.
I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna own me, 2 that wanna stone me, 1 she's a friend.
And here he is, the man himself, Jerry. Jerry, you're hard at it. First thing in the morning.
Yeah. The problem we have here is all this plastic. All this plastic is getting thrown into the ocean. And to give you a good example, when you put a plastic bag over your head, you die. If you put a plastic bag over your lawn, it dies. There's plastic all over the bottom of this ocean, which is killing so much of our sea life. And I have found that by the year 20,048, all of our seafood is going to be gone from overfishing and pollution. I feel if we got rid of the pollution, maybe there wouldn't be overfishing.
That's a terrible thing.
It is a terrible thing, and this is just the beginning. If we can start getting people to wastercise, which is bending at the waist, to pick up the waste and get rid of both, we could make one tremendous difference here in Thailand.
Well, you've got a few guys down here helping you today, and we're at Ocean Marina, but this is just typical of many of the beaches in the area, isn't it?
It certainly is, and a lot of it is lack of knowledge. It's not so much everybody's fault. The storm drains, people don't realize that they go directly to the ocean, and people are dumping their cooking oil, motor oil, they're sweeping their rubbish into it. It's killing our ocean, and not long from now we're going to no longer have people enjoying the beach because the water is going to be so polluted that nobody will want to be in it.
When do you think that people are actually going to wake up to this? I mean, I read the international news on television on PMTV, and every week now we're dominated with stories about climate change and the devastating effects it's going to have within the next 150 years if we don't do something about it now. Now, obviously, they're talking about it's going to raise the temperature of the planet by 6 degrees, which will have devastating effects to mankind. Obviously, what you're trying to do is just one little thing, but you're right. I mean, it's affecting our sea life. I mean, seafood in Thailand is such a, it's part and parcel of living here, isn't it?
Oh, it definitely is, yes.
I noticed that not to pick on this beach in particular, but I can't see any signs saying no litter, no dumping of trash or anything.
Yeah, I think what would be such a marvelous thing to do if we could put in English and Thai, if we could stencil around storm drains, goes to ocean, no garbage, have a picture of a fish with a cigarette in his mouth and see him also how it kills the fish. There's 1 million people in America that don't know how to read. I'm sure there's quite a few in Thailand. We need pictures, we need English, we need Thai. The Falangs are just as bad as the Thai, and there's many Thais that do a wonderful job. I've had groups of people come out of Chiang Mai to come to Jomtien on their holiday, and they would assist me in picking up things along the beach. There's a lot of concerned people, but there's enough not concerned that's damaging our sea life, our wildlife, and we need to wake them up. We need to wake up the people that smoke. I know it's a very hard habit to give up, but if you're going to smoke, please don't infringe on everybody else, such as flicking your cigarette filters where children can pick them up. They are toxic. The cellulose acetate in the filter is killing fish. If it doesn't kill the fish, we eat the fish. We can get sick from it. Please, smokers, try to control where you put your cigarette butts. Now that they've banned smoking in many places, there's 4.5 trillion cigarettes being smoked outdoors, and 50% of them are getting into our waterways.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? In Bangkok, if you flick a cigarette butt, you'll get busted. The police they'll fine you.
Right.
They don't have that same kind of policy in Pattaya, it seems.
And I don't understand that, because if they did have that kind of policy, we'd really have enough revenue to fix our roads and to clean up the storm drains, do a better job on that. I think there should be fines imposed on people that are discarding trash, and especially flicking their cigarette filters.
And one of the things that you pointed out to me earlier was that you're finding a lot of batteries.
Yes.
I mean, how do batteries end up in the ocean?
I don't know what the people are doing there, and mostly AA batteries. I'm also finding a lot of the large light bulbs that are used on the fishing boats that the people, I guess when they put in the new light bulb, they just discard the used light bulb, and it drifts up to our shoreline, and if a baby was to break one of those on a rock, I'm sure there'd be quite a bit of damage involved.
So between glass, battery acid, and bottle tops, rusting bottle tops.
Bottle tops, there are just trillions of bottle tops that are rusting in the ocean. Filters, bottle tops, batteries, plastic and cigarette are the biggest culprit there is. But then after that, there's a range of other things, such as the bottle caps that come off the beer bottles, the soda pop bottles. They are just everywhere.
Why are people not waking up to this? Why are they not just taking a bit of responsibility? I mean, we have laws that are there to guide us. Like the helmet law. Mm-hmm. Why does there have to be a law to say save your own life? But with pollution, people should just take a basic human responsibility, shouldn't they?
They should, and I think it's going to start with the children, because so many of the adults, all their lives, back before we had plastic, there wasn't this major problem, but since plastic has been discovered, it is just taking over our planet. We need to teach the children so they can teach their parents. I think basically if we can go through the schools and explain to children what's happening to because they won't be able to eat seafood later on. Once the seafood stops, I mean, life is pretty much going to stop in itself. We've got to jumpstart it now. It's a yesterday movie. We can make a difference. We have to start now. There's a lot of elder Falongs over here that are retired with basically not too much to do. If they decide they'd want to wastercise, which is great exercise, bending at the waist to pick up the waist to get rid of both, I'd love to start a club called the Nifty Over 50 Wastersizing Club.
Okay, I'll have to wait 10 years then.
And we'll make exceptions for younger people.
That's brilliant. Yeah, I think you're right about what you're saying about addressing the schools. Now, I guess if there's any teachers watching, whether you're in the international section or you're working in the Thai schools, Jerry, would you be happy to go into the schools and try to demonstrate?
I would love to go into the schools if I would have somebody that would explain to the children in Thai, being that I don't speak Thai that well. I would go through all the schools, wherever. If we in Thailand can start making a difference and start being recognized by other countries, we can set examples and make the rest of the world follow. I think this is the place, now is the time.
That's brilliant. You did this in Hawaii, of course. You've done this. You've taken on this challenge before in a different land.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 20 plus years. Hawaii was a lot easier to take care of. It wasn't quite as trashy as this place, but I did set a lot of examples there, and it's now my turn to set examples here in Thailand. And we need all the help we can get. And I know there's a lot of you out there that can help. And now you know how to get a hold of us. PollutionSolutionThailand@yahoo.com will get a hold of me.
Well, as you can see, this is a man with a huge mission and a huge task. And it can't just be done by one person. He needs a team of people. The over 50 nifty what?
Nifty over 50.
Nifty over 50 club.
Wastersizing.
Well, it sounds like it could be good fun.
It can be. It can, because what happens once you clean up an area like this, the children and wildlife thank you greatly because you're protecting the environment for them. Buddha and God thank you. The paybacks are priceless. To look back at something you've cleaned up is just such a warm feeling, and knowing that you've contributed something in this lifetime that you've lived where you've fed off of this beautiful planet is our turn now to give back, and we need to give back now.
Well said. Listen, I'm going to catch up with a couple of the other guys who are helping out today, and then I'll come back and touch base with you in about 10 minutes or so, okay?
I'll be right out there.
Good man. See you.
Running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna own me, 2 that wanna stone me, 1 says she's a friend of mine. take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand and take it easy.
Well, I'm with one of the guys that's down here helping today, Steve Martin. How you doing, Steve?
Good, thanks, Paul.
Good. So how did you get involved with this, Steve?
Well, I've been walking the streets for a while. I see the rubbish. It's my morning exercise. I get out 5, 6 o'clock in the morning after I've dropped my girlfriend off, walk the streets. I've seen there's a lot of rubbish. I'd read Jerry's letters in the Patia Mail, felt the same way. I feel that something else needs to be done. I think an education program needs to be implemented within the schools so that you teach the kids, tomorrow's adults, about the impact of rubbish and what it does to the environment.
Jerry was saying that's the problem, or that's a way of addressing the problem, is to actually go in at the root and start educating the children, the Thai and the Farang children, I guess.
Oh, totally. Okay, a lot of Farang children learn it in their own countries, but sadly it's not done here. I think in order to make it enticing for Thai society, definitely the schools, the best thing to do would be to put 4 big rubbish containers within a canteen so that kids could start separating their rubbish as they finish their lunch. That would be the first step. Then the schools would be able to sell that rubbish directly to recyclers instead of giving it to some middleman. By doing that, they'd make some money, some revenue, and I think
And do their bit.
that would be doing their bit. After that, then it would be a matter of introducing a program which fits into the curriculum, which teachers could easily teach and would help children appreciate the impact of what,
Well, you're right, if we can get to the stage where it's in the curriculum. If you look at a country like Japan, for instance, it's second nature. I don't know if you've been, I used to go and stay with a friend in Tokyo, and they had 3 bins in their kitchen.
Yes.
And it's just tremendous, that is just the way it's done.
Well, I think within Thailand there are a lot of people who realize that rubbish has a recyclable value. You do see people picking up bottles, plastic bottles, glass bottles, people deliberately leaving that kind of rubbish out in the street for the poor people to pick up. But as you've seen on this beach, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't have any recycling emblems on it. People don't see the return value in it, so they don't worry about it and they let it lie where it falls. And that's a problem, and you've got to change that mentality.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you were saying to me just before we went on camera was about people throwing stuff down drains. Even when there is a bin, people are sweeping garbage and oil and whatever into drains, and that's then going into the oceans.
It's just neglect. It's just ignorance of, what they're doing and disrespect for the kingdom. I personally think you can't show any more respect for the kingdom than making an effort to try and keep it clean.
Well, you sound like you're on the bandwagon. You're here.
Proof is in the actions. Yeah. Actions speak stronger than words, don't they?
What time were you here this morning?
I think it was about 7:15. I was late.
Okay. Well, you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And obviously it is just about raising awareness. So we'll bring up the website again, and we're going to bring up some other graphics and show you some images that will just illustrate how much this is affecting the country, the kingdom, and our livelihoods. It's in the food we eat, the air we breathe, I guess, to a certain degree as well. You're a good man, Steve, and I'm sure we can all make a difference, can't we?
I hope so.
But
Will my mother see this?
Well, I don't know if
I'd like her to see that.
We haven't quite got to New Zealand yet.
Okay, thank you very
Good to
much,
meet
Paul.
you.
Likewise.
Good to meet you.
Okay, cheers.
It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me.
Well, as you can see, this man's passion is rather infectious, with a couple of Farangs down here and of course the Thai kids who are getting involved. Jerry, is your day's work done for the day, or?
No, we've only just begun.